I met her in the forest, a beautiful creature. You're Bigfoot, right? She asked. I froze. First date. Yeah, Bigfoot's been on a date. Okay, gather all around, folks. Today is the day I'm sharing a real story. My first date. Yeah, Bigfoot's been on a date. I met her in the forest, a beautiful creature, long, flowing hair. No, not a bear, a human. Yeah, I was surprised too. She was sitting by a tree reading a book, and I thought, wow, that's a big book. Do humans read all the words? I casually walked by, pretended I was just blending in. You know, looking mysterious, like a cryptid. But then she looked up, and our eyes met. Not like a, hey, how's the weather kind of look. No, it was like something more. She smiled, and that's when I realized I was in trouble. I was going to have to figure out how to talk. So I did what any smooth guy would do. I picked a leaf and waved it around like a little greeting. Yeah, it was weird. But she laughed. You're Bigfoot, right? She asked. I froze. I wanted to say, no, I'm just an oversized forest enthusiast, but I went with, yup. She giggled. You're kind of cute. I almost fainted. Cute? Me. Did she see my hair? The volume? Anyway, I panicked and decided to just sit next to her. I didn't even ask. I just sat. Like, yeah, I'm part of the nature vibe now. We talked. Okay, I tried to talk. Mostly grunts. But she seemed to understand. I was like, she's a forest whisperer. So I made the bold move. I pulled out a flower. But not any flower. A giant flower. It was like a... For me? She asked. I nodded. I mean, how could I not give her a flower? She was perfect. Then I did what I do best. I took her on a nature walk. Nothing says romance like unpredictable wildlife. As we walked, I accidentally knocked over a tree, you know, the usual Bigfoot thing. But she just laughed. My heart, gone.
So we got to this beautiful spot by the waterfall, and I thought, okay, now I need to do something impressive. But I had no idea how to swim.
I tried to impress her by jumping into the waterfall and totally belly flopped. Classic Bigfoot.
She rushed to make sure I was okay, and I'll be honest, I almost didn't want to be okay. I wanted to stay there forever, just with her.
But she didn't mind. She looked at me and said, you know, you're kind of adorable when you don't try to be. Guys, I was officially smitten. I knew this was it. This was the moment I was going to confess. But instead, I slipped on a rock and fell into the water.
She didn't even laugh this time. She just reached her hand out to help me. And you know what? I took it. I'm not too proud to admit it.
She looked at me and said, you're kind of different, you know? And in my head, I was like, yup, different is my middle name. I didn't have flowers, but I had my wild berry stash. So I gave her some. She ate them like they were gourmet. What a queen. I tried to be smooth. So want to do this again sometime? I said. And okay, it was a little awkward. But she said, sure.
We sat there for hours, just looking at the stars. Well, I looked at the stars. She kept looking at me. I couldn't handle it.
And then I said, you know, if you want, we could go on a moonlit hike together. It'll be romantic, with no tree destroying.
She laughed again. That laugh, it was my favorite sound. I think I'd like that, she said. And I thought my heart would explode.
We walked under the stars, my big Sasquatch hands brushing hers. It felt right. Not like the awkward way I thought it would. Then, at the end of the night, she gave me a hug. A hug. The first real hug of my life. Not from a tree or a bear.
And that, folks, was my first date. It wasn't perfect. It was Bigfoot level awkward. But it was mine. And it was beautiful.